What's good, YouTube? I hope your weekend was just as wild as my hair today. In today's masterclass, we're going to talk about very important stuff. We're going to talk about how to approach a label, how to prepare your mix down before you're sending it to a label. And in case you might be wondering, who is this Johnny Bravo lookalike? Well, my name is Steven, formerly known as Neroz. I traveled all over the world performing more than 20 countries. I've performed at DEF CON 4 times, had multiple #1 hits, and millions of Spotify streams. Anyway, I decided to quit performing last year to focus only on music production. And if you want to know more information about what I do, check the description down below. Anyway, we're going to talk about mix and mastering techniques and what to do if you don't have any inspiration. And if you want to keep missing these interactive masterclasses, then make sure not to subscribe and not to follow me. All right, have fun. How to export tracks for labels? Well, that depends, right? Depends. Some labels want to master your tracks and some labels want the master track. So if you want the pre-master, for example, it has to be a -6 dB. What does that mean? Let me find a -6 dB track. All right, this one's from Violate. Okay. So usually what labels do is they want either a pre-master or a master track. Mastering itself is an advanced skill. It's not easy, but sometimes it can be easy, because lately I've just seen people put an inflator on it, match some LUFS, and call it a day. But usually people, like label agencies, they want to have a pre-master, because then they can also see the mix down and stuff like that. How is it balanced? You can't see that with the master track. You can only listen to it, but you can't see much because the peaks are really high. The -6 dB thing is a rule that you have a little bit of headroom. So I can see now that he has peaks here and there, and it just leaves room for what to fix with mastering, basically, what to balance. Or it's for you a good reference if everything is balanced. If there's a big change in waveform, like for example, let's say this is the break and these are the kicks, and the break is even more quiet than this, and you need to look at yourself and be like, okay, that's not really balanced. So the -6 dB thing is good to look at your track to see if everything is balanced accordingly. In a perfect world, everything would be almost the same volume. Like for a disturb track, for example, basically mastered, it all sounds like crazy loud. In my opinion, good is when the mixdown is good. When is the mixdown good? If there's not too many peaks in volume or in crazy frequencies. So you need to make sure that your mix is balanced. So let's look at Martijn, Violate here, for example. This looks very good. All the frequencies are used. And then you're going to check the LUFS, the LUFS. Everything has to be imbalanced. Everything has to be in balance. So if the loudness here is -13, all right? And this one is -8, so that's a significant difference. You might want to balance that a little bit better, because if it's minus whatever it was versus this, of course you want the kicks to be louder, but you also don't want the crowd to fall asleep in the middle of a break. So you want to turn that volume up too. That needs to be heard too when you're playing it, right? You can't forget about the breaks. They have to be a certain volume too for the people to feel it. So to answer the question, what's a good -6 dB export is when the volumes are balanced, stereo and mono field are good, frequencies look good, and everything overall sounds good overall. Everything has a good place in the audio spectrum. I think that answers your question. Okay, it's hard for me to pronounce his name. Guillermo had a question about how to approach labels. All right, kiddos, sit down. I'm gonna have a little talk. So you want to reach out to labels. All right, so I'm working on the artist development plan. The artist development plan talks about how you should engage in a process like this. My view in this regard is that you have to treat it as a job interview. You're applying for a job. So what's the client looking for? The client is looking for someone that contributes to the work. All right, what are you going to contribute? Oh, you're sending in a demo? Okay, that's your resume? You're sending in a demo. Okay. Is that enough? I don't think so. What you should be doing instead is on your branding. Make sure everything is in order. Social media has to be clean. That's the first thing they check. They check your LinkedIn when you apply. They check your social media when you apply. Social media has to be in order. Oh, you're not active? Oh, okay. Well, why would we hire you? Second of all, logo needs to be clean. Have a nice press kit. Has to look good. Just a nice photo of yourself. You don't have to invest a lot of money in a photo shoot. You just have to look representable. So social media, logo, photo. Be active on social media. That's the first thing I would say. Very important. So once you did that, once you've done that, then you're going to start being like, okay, how do I like? Who do I want to apply to? All right, you want to apply to Scantrax. Why do you want to apply to Scantrax? Why? What do you like about Scantrax? And what's in it for them? Why do you fit at Scantrax? Is it your sound? Is it your vision? Is it the target audience? So those are things you have to think about. Okay, so I'm Steven. I like kick rolls and euphoric melodies in a raw jacket. I don't even know if that's a Dutch translation, whatever. In a raw theme. So hi Scantrax, I'm Steven. My name is Steven. I'm a music producer for 18 years. I see you guys do a lot of this, and that. I really like what you're doing. I think I will be a right fit because of this and this and this reason. I make music over 18 years. My music fits your target audience because this and this and this and that. You know, this is stuff you need to think about. Like, what are you contributing to the label? What's in it for them? So you can't just send 3 demos or 1 demo. 1 demo is a big red flag because that's not enough. You want to build a presence. The more they know about you already, the better. Let me put it that way. So if you're active on TikTok, there's a big chance because all those people working at Scantrax are also on TikTok. So they see that too, you know? And where was I? Yeah, so treat it as a job interview. And a nice letter with everything I just mentioned, your social media links, logo, press kit, and then the 3 tracks. And when are you ready to send in your tracks? When you did your research about the label, when you made a nice post, when all your social media is active, when your branding is in order, everything that it has to be complete because it has never been easier to make hardstyle than nowadays. So many sample packs, but what labels want is someone that takes that next step. So you're going to prepare. You're going to do your research. What's the label agency? Who are the people working there? What are they releasing? How is that similar to me? What am I going to bring to the table? Very important to think about. Don't send in cold emails. Hey, I'm Steven. I just send demos. I hope you guys like it. No, that's not the way you should do it. Do research. Who does the A&R? Write personally. And then have a far bigger chance to get an answer. Any idea when the artist development plan will be released? No. I'm working on it, man. There's so many topics. I have no idea. I don't want to promise anyone that. I'm just working my ass off to get it finished. So, yeah, hardest thing of me is being active. Yeah, for sure. That is hard. You can't force being active. You can't force it. It has to come from within or else it's just going to sound weird. Okay, so hopefully that answers my pitch. How to approach labels, do your research, make sure everything's in order in your social media, and then find a way that your music connects to that label, why, and a nice letter. And then pray that you get an answer because it's not easy lately. Okay, so very common mistake. Let's take a coffee. Let's take the jazz. Bring the jazz back. To do when you don't have any idea. I talked about this in the artist development plan. Inspiration comes from a lot of things. The most important thing is to have a clear mind. If you're worrying too much about work, relationship, or families, or whatever health issues, you're too distracted. There are a million other things that are more important than music production. So, number 1 is have a clear mind. Once you have a clear mind, you can focus on music production. Music production is I don't know the right translation in English, an exhaust, like an escape. It's not so much a profession, it's a hobby, right? So you want to do it because you enjoy it. So make sure everything's okay and sit behind the computer. Inspiration for me comes from taking a long walk, taking a shower, doing a scooter ride, bicycle ride. Everything pops up, right? If you don't have any inspiration, what you could do is find a song you really like and make a bootleg out of it. Like, I don't know, find a song you like and then like, okay, I have no idea what to do right now. Let's just take this bootleg. Let's try to make it a hardstyle version because it's a track you like, and you're like, okay, I know what to do with this. I can replicate the melody. I can make a great track out of this. I think that's a great advice. Make a bootleg. Just make a bootleg, and then you develop new sounds that you can use in your own projects, and work from there. So be healthy, be happy. Don't have. Of course, we have stuff to worry about, paying bills, going to work, stuff like that. Music is an escape, and it works better if your mind is set the right way. So focus on everything that is more important than music production. Fix that stuff, go back to music production, And yeah, to me, inspiration comes from games, movies, orchestra, can be anything. I was listening to something yesterday, a TikTok, and I'm like, I'm gonna make a banger out of this just for my social media. I know people will like it. I'm gonna work on that today. It's gonna be really good. So if you don't know what to do, and also collaborations, my students, for example, in the Discord, my students in my Discord, they find each other if they don't have any inspiration. They collab. It's always good to reach out to people. It's hard to find people if you're not in the community. I get that. That's a huge advantage of the community, I would say, is to collab with another person. They can lift you up or bring you down. In that case, get rid of them. So a lot of things to talk about when you don't have any inspiration. Else could I add to that list? Get new sample packs. Experiment with new VSTs, free sample packs. I think that basically covers a lot. Clean your room up before you sit down. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I should definitely tell you to do that, but it's, well, not today, but yeah, it's a mess here. I'm not an organized person.